what on earth is the Scrum Master doing, right? Have you ever wondered why in the Scrum literature they're not talking too much about stakeholders? The only one that they're mentioning here is that you've got the product owner who actually liaises with the stakeholders. And the question that I have here is, in such an important business setting, why such a topic like this is essentially left out? Don't you think there's clearly a problem here? So in today's video, we're going to be discussing why this potential topic here is a massive concern and what the Scrum Master should be picking up from this, because if it's just the product owner engaging with the stakeholders, what on earth is the Scrum Master doing, right? The Scrum Master should be doing something at the end of the day. Is he just talking to the product owner all the time and the development team? Is that it? I think that's a highly ridiculous situation to be in. But this is where the Scrum Guide focuses on, where most of the literature is actually talking about nowadays. So we want to take this and we want to actually channel this in a different way. So let's get into it. So in the Scrum literature, you have three roles. You have the product owner role, you have the Scrum Master role, and you have the development T role. And basically what's happening here is that everyone is interfacing with everyone here, and they're going backwards and forwards, which is cool. I have no issues with that. But the product owner is the only one that deals with the stakeholders. Okay, that's cool with that. But when you get into the actual meetings of it, right, you've got the sprint planning, you've got the daily stand-up, sprint review, and the sprint retrospective. Believe it or not, stakeholders can come in here and observe the team, and they are directly screwing you over in the sprint review, right? So this is happening in here. So, and we're expecting the product owner to handle this 100%. I find that very, very difficult to actually believe that this one character can actually handle all of this. And what they say here is the Scrum Master, and remember guys, the key word here is facilitation. This is always the key word that's used in the literature. Facilitation, coaching, all this stuff, right? So, what are you facilitating? Scrum Master is facilitating. You are coaching. You are supporting. You are guiding. You're doing all sorts of that wonderful stuff that a Scrum Master does. Should you not be engaging the stakeholders? Is it just the product owner? Write in the comments, what do you think that is? I think this is completely wrong. I think actually this is probably the worst advice to give to a Scrum Master, is that they are just talking to those two roles. In fact, I think the scope of the Scrum Master is way larger than this. I actually think the Scrum Master scope should be largened, it should be increased, that you are talking to product managers, you're talking to product owners, you're talking to many other business stakeholders, other teams. Now, I'll tell you the reason why this is the case. In the literature, it clearly says that you are handling dependencies. Scrum Master is in charge of, you could say in charge of trying to see how you can coordinate and facilitate the impediments and the removal of, coordinate the, removal of impediments and coordinate dependencies. So this is what's going on here. In order to do this effectively, you need to be able to be talking to the right people. But nowhere in the literature is it saying this, and I think people are walking out from these courses thinking that you are just doing the team role. This is a complete, it's a 180 from the reality. You need to be talking to people. You need to be discussing to people everywhere in the business. If you simply think you are talking to the IT team, you are completely in the wrong boat here. You're completely in the wrong boat and you're in the wrong setting. In fact, you should give yourself a kick up the backside, because this is nowhere near what a Scrum Master role is. This is the wrong thought process to have in this day and age. The Scrum Master should be talking to all types of business stakeholders and ensuring the removal of impediments effectively and risks, and dependencies. Now, I know what some of you are going to say here. Oh, Sahib, coach, that's dissolved to the team. Really? Do you expect me to believe that? In a practical setting where nobody actually follows the literature, I'm saying on camera, in a practical setting where nobody follows the literature from the Scrum theory or the Scrum guide, when you do it in practice, no one's following this stuff, by the way. Do you really think anyone's going to be following this? So when people are saying that's not Scrum, that's not Agile, I couldn't frankly care less, because the fact of the matter is our jobs are on the line, our effort is on the line, our time needs to be spent well spent, and we need to get stakeholder trust, and we need to be able to deliver business value. I don't care what the literature says on this. We need to be able to be working effectively on these lines so we can deliver business value. That's it, case in point there. So, Scrum Master needs to be working effectively, and you need to be doing something with the stakeholders. So Scrum Master needs to be liaising with the stakeholders. Which stakeholders? Any business stakeholder that we're talking about here. So that means there's one skill that is missing here. Stakeholder engagement. Stakeholder engagement is such an important topic here that I feel it should actually be one of the first things taught in any course that you go to. Any sort of business course that you go to, it should be one of the first things that's being taught, but it's actually being neglected here. Stakeholder engagement is all about how you engage. How you engage your stakeholders and you create a productive setting. It's about creating a productive setting to foster a good relationship. Good relationship and deals and good meetings, leverage, all that stuff. The real stuff that we should be focusing on. This is where stakeholder engagement is coming in. Tell me, where does that say anything like that in the Scrum literature? I bet you it doesn't say it anywhere. It actually says the product owner talks to the stakeholders, gathers the requirements from the stakeholders. Fine, go ahead. What's the Scrum Master doing? Sitting there back chilling? This is why we get ridiculous questions in the business setting. What on earth does a Scrum Master do all day? Scrum Master does nothing all day because he is reading the wrong grade, is reading the wrong stuff. The literature is teaching him the wrong thing. In a practical setting, this person is extremely valuable. But we're actually giving out the wrong information and actually, the worst part is we've got instructors that are giving this information who haven't practiced a day in life of a Scrum Master ever. Sad fact, sad state of affairs, but actually it's true. When you talk to consultants and coaches who are actually in there, they're in there in the trenches every day and they're seeing this stuff, they're speaking from experience. This is why you guys watch my channel here, because you know you're getting it from the trenches. You know exactly what's going on here. So all this stuff is going on. You need to be extremely careful. You need to know exactly what's going on here so you can foster good relationships. Some of you usually ask me, where can I learn this stuff? Where is this stuff? So, okay, this is where you are currently. You're sitting there, you've watched this video. You have some understanding, right? You've got some understanding here, and you've understood you need to get the skill, which is stakeholder engagement. As I say all the time, there's a gap that you need to go through. There's a learning that you need to go through. There's a couple of ways that you can do it here. You can learn by yourselves. You can read some guides online. You can read some generic stuff. You can get some generic training, which will lead you to a generic place, right? Or you can go for the bullseye. You can go for the bullseye. And the bullseye is actually very simple, that you take targeted coaching within the area of the Scrum Master thing and how this person goes about engaging stakeholders. This is totally different from the articles and the stuff that you're reading up online. You will not find this actually anywhere. This is why you need bespoke coaching, customized coaching that shows you exactly how in your current environment, how you do this. And that is the bullseye. So there's a gap here. You need to traverse this gap. You need to have coaching here. Coaching which is targeted to that specific area, so you make good use of your money, your time, and your effort, and you walk away with something that's going to help you in the long run. So guys, that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully you've understood the point of stakeholder engagement and why it is so critical for the Scrum Master to do, and why it can actually help you going forward within your career as well. Because it's not just in the Scrum Master role, product owner role, product management role, project management role, all the other roles you can imagine, you need a good level of stakeholder engagement. If you want to contact me, my details are on the screen. I'd love to hear from yourselves what you thought about this video. And as always, thanks for watching.